Uh, First, let me to introduce myself to you. I'm your new teacher. My name is Gao Zhuojie. You can call me Mrs. Gao. I'll write the Chinese characters on the board. I'm Gao Zhuojie. You can call me Mrs. Gao. As you know, there are 3 teachers are in charge of this course. Yes. Mrs. John. This matter that there are 3 teachers give the lesson to you. I took the part of Chinese society. I'll introduce you about something about Chinese society, such as Chinese education, Chinese family, and Chinese people, population, and so on. There are 2 notes. For my class. One, I'll take a register every week. And my class will be held in the next 6 weeks. 6. So I'll take a register for 6 times. But don't be worried, the students online, because I can export the register of attendance from the Tencent conference app. So you don't worry about it. This one, and the other is you need to hand in 1 homework to me for my class. 1 homework. If you didn't attend my class, or you didn't hand in your homework to me, which that will affect your grades. Do you understand? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's start with my class. You may, what name do you call this course? Okay, overview of China. Or Chinese history and culture. Okay. Nevertheless, my part is about Chinese society. Look at Islam society. You know, there are many issues about society, but I'll introduce you 6 issues. The introduction of the course. There are 6 unites in my course. Unit 1, population. In this unite, you learn about how many population in China, and how many ethnic groups in China, and the Chinese government adopt the policy for population. 中国政府关于人口的政策。Unit 1. Unit 2. Marriage and family. From this essay, I'll introduce you the attitude to marriage and family in China. I know in some other country, one husband can marry with several women. I will say it. But in China, one husband only can marry with one woman. This is policy in China. Unit 3, education. China has a long history of education. Do you hear a name Confucius? Confucius. He is the first private teacher in China about 2,000 years ago. He is famous and a great man in China. Unit 4, religious beliefs and values. China is freedom in religious belief. Many people have their own religious beliefs, such as Christian. And there is one native religious belief in China, Daoism. Do you hear the name? Daoism. 道教. And other. I'll introduce you I'll introduce you 5 or 4 religious beliefs in China. But China is a country, and his politics I think I want to explain. 政教分离. Okay, thank you. Separate politics, separate from the religious beliefs in China, just like United States. Yes. Unit 5, social security. Social security. In this class, we will learn about the social security services provided by Chinese government for disabled groups or poor groups. China's services for these people are very good in the world. In my opinion. United States environment. In this unit, you can learn the situation of China's environment and the problems Chinese are facing, and what the Chinese government doing for us. solve the problems. Okay, let's learn the first knowledge point today. The population of China. Unit 1. Population of China. I divided the part, Unit 1, into two parts. The first part is about China's population, and the other part is about China's ethnic minorities, ethnic groups. In Chinese, ethnic minorities are called 少数民族。Or little. They have little people. This is nationalities. Nationalities. 少数民族. Let's look at the part 1, Chinese population. Do you know how many people in China now? Yes. Yes. The date you tell me is the newest date. China has 1.4 billion people in our country. This is a huge date. But as you know, China has a vast area, a large area, a large land in China. But there are some characteristics about China's population. There are some characteristics of population features. There are some features of population of China. At the same time, due to some special reasons, our overall feeling in China is that the population density is particularly high. You can look many people on the street and in the campus. So the first feature is a country with a large population. Let's look at the first feature of population in China. China is a populous country. This picture is crowd. Okay. China's population census is conducted every 10 years. So the date, let's look at the date. So the date of the 7th national population census will be up to November 1st, 2020. According to this data, the total population of China has reached 1.4 billion. Let's take a look at this picture. One of the picture is in Chinese, and the other is translated into English. I use a translated A to translate it. So it is correct. You can check it. From this picture, we can get the date of 7th. This is the 7th national census. This is 6th. The rate is moderate, exactly. Because if you know the rapid many years ago, China's population grows very quickly. Okay, this is the date about China's population. Now let's compare a set of data to understand how obvious this feature of China as a populous country is. This picture is from the date of 2017. These dates collected in 2017. So there is a little difference. From this picture, we can see that China is the most populous country in the world, and the total population of China accounts for 18% of the world's total population. Now it reached 20%, almost. In addition to China, look at here. India is another populous country in the world. From this picture, we know China have more people than India, but some experts speculate that the population in India will overtake the population of China this month, April, the end of April. The population of India will overtake the population of China. Now, except for China and India, the proportion will drop sharply in this picture. Like the United States, the population of the United States only accounts for 4.3% of the world total population. Next, that picture. Next are Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, Mexico, and Japan. Other countries are not shown in this picture, but we know, do you know how many countries in our world?
Something close to 20.
他说什么？
他讲说可能接近200。
Yes, almost 200 countries in the world. You are right. Now, look at this picture. In addition to those dozen countries I introduced to you, the remaining more than 100 countries have a total population or about 29% of the world's total population. So how many people in your country? Do you know?
6 million.
Oh,
500,000.
okay, I see. That's small.
In Suzhou, it's 8 million. It's more
Yes, but how many land area? How large land area?
almost 200,000. It's
Please,
100,000.
it doesn't matter. You can,
But it's very small, yeah, it's very small. Yeah, it's like Xinjiang.
oh, I see.
200,000.
它的样子也很像家里。
家里
Yes.
有点多。
Next, let's compare the population of a city in China with a country in the world, and you can understand how large the population of China is. The city we will list is Xuzhou. Xuzhou in Jiangsu province, and which is also the seat of Jiangsu Normal University. Our university are located in Xuzhou. Similarly, let's take a look at this picture on the slide. First of all, we need to understand the geographical area of Xuzhou. Geographical area of Xuzhou. The geographical area of Xuzhou is about 11 square kilometers. Square kilometers is the normal use for Chinese. According to the date of the 7th National Population Census, the total population living in Xuzhou is about 9 million. 9 million. Okay, this is the date of Xuzhou. In addition, the picture also shows that more than 60% of people live in city, and about 30% people, 30% of people in Xuzhou live in the countryside. And more than more than 50% people, residents, are male, and female residents account for 49%. This state shows another feature of China's people's feature, and we'll introduce it later. Now let's compare the population of Xuzhou with the population of a country. Do you know the country? The Republic of Montenegro. In Chinese, 黑山共和国 Republic of Montenegro. This country is a European country. Its land area is about 13 square kilometers, which is not much larger than Xuzhou. Xuzhou is 11 square kilometers. But let's look at its population, which is only 620,000. But Xuzhou has 9 million people. If we compare it with more than 9 million in Xuzhou, the total population of Xuzhou is more than 14 times that of the Republic of Montenegro. The Republic of Montenegro is indeed one of the countries with a relatively small population in the world. While apart from the Republic of Montenegro, there is also the smallest country in the world. This country is called Vatican. In Chinese, 梵蒂冈. This country located in Rome, the capital of Italy. Let's take a look at this country. The picture is the overview of the country, almost. The land area of this country is about 0.44 square kilometers, which may be similar to the area occupied by our school, our university. Its population is 800. That is, the total population of country is 800. So after such a comparison, do you have an intuitive impression that China's population is a very large number? Okay.
Wow.
Small.
300,000.
The population is 800,000.
80万，那就80万。他明白这800是什么意思？就是80万。
800 people live in this country.
Yes,
It is a small country, and the country. This country is the smallest country in the world. But it is the country of Christian. Oh, I don't explain this word. 教宗Christian.
就是他们的知识，这是他们的什么知识？
Yes.
专业种子吧。
This country's land area only 0.44 square kilometers. Just like our school. Yes.
800 people less than us. Less than us, less more than.
主权独立的国家。
Yeah, yes, it depends on the real country.
Okay, this is the first feature of China's population. The number is large. And then let's take a look at the second feature, high density. High density. Okay. Similarly, we still use the comparative way to understand the feature of China's high population density. The picture shows the data comparison between China and Canada. China's land area is about 9.6 million square kilometers. The land area of Canada is about 9.9 square kilometers. You can translate this怎么翻译？
the square平方 square kilometer.
Do you know this?
Yes.
Okay. The land area of the two countries is almost the same, but the population is much different. China's population is about 1.4 billion. Canada is about 35 million. In contrast, China's population density is about 144 kilometers, and Canada's is 3.5 people per kilometers.
Yeah.
This is the density of population. For a country with a large population and a high population density, management is a very complicated matter, a complicated thing to manage a large country. You know him.
Yes.
He is the chairman of China. Xi Jinping. We called him in Chinese 习主席. 主席 chairman 主席 chairman 习主席. Xi Jinping, China's chairman, just like president, but not the president, because the policies are different. He said something like this: any achievement made by China is insignificant if it is divided by 1.4 billion. And any problem in China becomes very severe if it is multiplied by 1.4 billion. Okay. Let's have a 5 minutes break. Do you understand how much is 5?
No problem.
Okay. If you have any question, you can communicate with me. At each, if you wish to have agency.
一点水。所以我觉得，因为所有对方面的发展，这个可能
你在我的是
然后就文化上面的节点，对对，那地理啊、政治啊，对，学这样子，政治啊、制度啊，是为什么？
我觉得
会，像我以为我现在13人不可能13哦，不是11人，
2020年进行一个那个
嗯，因为国外然后也外，我还以为是12亿，现在20年前啊，很多人还是不知道。
基本在讲，但中国
假说我去讲说是印度这个相接的这个4月份，哦，4月份中国关，4月份关，好快哦。
有国家
一个奖，或者说个地方，一个奖大概2、3个，平均
2、3个，
啊，就是人数多点30个孩子，我们国家有3000万，对
3000吧，那也不少。
他那个哪样啊？现在更说越南阶梯，
越南地理面积并不是
对，
特别大，
就是它跟日本也是差不多，但是啊也是差不多也是差不多1点多亿这样子，差不多。
你看这些
那样是，每个1点是多啊，蛮小的，它还更小，新加坡就更小，500万吧，新加坡是它的人口密集度小，好，什么的500万，意思。
追溯到中国的也是可以，
是为什么是我们的对话？
就是啊，那就是你的写
最
上
对，是第5代，
第5代，
那个南洋东南亚华人
我没有去机会去到其他国家去看，去了解
东南亚的世界的，地线来，语言上要来一定要小心，来这个地方，
这个是这个天地之物，
之类。啊，你先，你说谁？加拿大，伊斯兰的意思是，外方。哦，啊，里面有消，消声呀，消声啊，一点消消消消，卖呀，卖，货币，他们有 I know. In my country, is less in Syria. Less. Let's see. You want to go from overseas? I think it's thank you.
Okay. Let's go on with outcomes. This is the map of China. It's like lack of talk in Chinese opinion of talk. And this is the northeastern of China, Heilongjiang province. But this is called Hehe River. Indeed, there is a river. It's called Hehe in Heilongjiang province. But Hehe River is also a city's name. Hehe. And this is another city, Tongchong, located in Yunnan province. Yunnan, in the west-east of China. If you draw a straight line from Hehe city to Chong, you can see the high density cause because many people live in this area, live in this area. And few people live in this because of investment is not good for live. Okay. From this picture, we can see that about 6% of the population lived on 57% of the total land area of the country. Okay, this date. Well, Xuzhou, where is Xuzhou? Almost here. Here. This is Shandong province. And this is Shanghai. Xuzhou is located. So Xuzhou is a city, China. And your country. Okay. Thank you. West. This is the second characteristic of the Chinese population. The density is high, or mid. And then let's take a look at the third characteristic, the sex ratio. Sex ratio. In one word, in China, there are more men than women. More men than women. Previously, we explained that in the 7th national census in Xuzhou, The data obtained also introduced the fact that men are more than women. Do you remember the picture of Xuzhou State? Okay. Yes. So it is also a very significant feature of the Chinese population that men are more than women nationwide, all over the country. Let's take a look at this picture. According to this date, look at the slide, this picture. The male population accounts for 51% of the total population in China. And the female population accounts for 48% of the total population. That is to say, the ratio of male to female is 105 to 100. In this state, men who reach the age of marriage are also superfluous in China. That is to say, in China, boys are not easy to find girlfriends to marry. While girls are more likely to find boyfriends are easier. But I have look a video. In that video, some countries have more women than men, just like Russia. You can marry with a Chinese girl. I hear about a news. The Russia's government adopt a policy to spread the girl in Russia is very good to Chinese and other countries. This is a policy to solve the problem in the society. But indeed, now many boys and girls in China don't want to marry. Yes, they although they married, they don't want to have children because the burden is so heavy. 负担。Let's look at another feature of China's population, aging. First of all, we need to know what aging is. Aging refers to the elderly over 60 years old in a society. The population accounts for more than 10%. 60 years old accounts more than 10% of the society. All the elderly population over 65 years old, accounting for more than 7% of the total population of one country. Then the society is called an aging society. There are many aging society, many aging countries in the world. Okay.
How about China? China, how what's the percent of China?
Aging.
Maybe
China have many elderly people in our society, and this group for elderly, they can't work for the society, and the society must responsible for this group.
Oh,
So it is a problem our facing. Okay. This is the date for China's population rate. This is the date in 1953, and this is that is the picture. So China's aging is faster. It's faster. I'll look for a video for you. Please wait a moment. Students in the meeting room. Students online, please wait a moment. I'll show the video to the classmates in the classroom. Okay, in the world, the age over 60 years old. It is good for a society to have more young people. So the problem of aging is not only for China, but also for other countries. This is a common problem in the world. Okay. This is the second issue in the part one, China's population policy. Okay. Above is our summary of the features of China's population. In fact, the features of China's population are more than what we have introduced in our class. But what we have introduced are more typical characteristics of China's population, including such as large quantity, high density, sex ratio, and disharmony between men and women and aging. In view of these typical characteristics of China's population, the Chinese government has adopted some policies to deal with them. One of the most obvious changes is that the Chinese government has begun to change from the original one-child policy to three-child policy. 30 years ago, in China, one family, one couple can have one child in China for about 30 years. This policy, but in recently, Chinese government changes this policy. One couple can have more children, such as 2 children, 3 children. Because the young people is 生产力，英文是这样讲。And there is a traditional view in China that is men boys are good than girls in traditional view of China, but Chinese government looking for ways to stimulate people to have more children and to have more girls. Such as government has used the mainstream media to spread the message that girls have an advantage over boys. For example, girls are more good for their parents. There is a saying in China that doctors are the intimate cotton padded jacket of their parents. I don't know the expression is correctly. 女儿是父母的小棉袄。Can you translate this word? This means girls are good to their parents than boys. Such as girls 关心啊。
They care very much about daughters.
OK，
Sometimes more even than son. The son.
I think this thing should be first northerner to say, because China have a large land area. In the northern, the weather is cold, so the cotton padded jacket to a northerner is necessary. But in the south of China, they don't need a cotton padded jacket because the weather is hot, just like Hainan province. I am a northeast people of China, 东北. I'm a 东北人. In my hometown, the weather is cold. In the winter, usually to snow. Usually, you can usually look at the snow, and the ground is white.
Yes.
In my hometown. Okay. Just like now, some area in northeast, 仍然 still snows. Still snow.
It still snows.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, we could.
Yes.
It's very long.
But there is some cities in China have long spring, just like Yunnan and Hainan province, Yunnan province and province. You can go to the cities in the south to look a difference from here.
In my country, every day is summer. Every day is short. Like this every day. Don't be fair. To us, winter is something that you read in the story, a fairy tale. Snow White, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, or Santa Claus.
So you can go to the northeast.
Yes, I want to go
to go around. Okay, this is the first part of the Unite One, which is about the introduction of Chinese population. While in the second part, we will learn how many nationalities live independently in China. How many nationalities? The second part, ethnic groups in China. First of all, let's take a look at the general situation of the world's ethnic groups. There are more than 2,000 ethnic groups in the world, and more than 100 million people of ethnic groups include the Han people. Han in Chinese, Hanzu. I'm Chinese. Han. Except Hanzu, there are 55 minorities, nationalities in China. The total nationalities in China is 56. 56. In Europe, some countries will name their own countries after the most populous ethnic groups in their own countries. But China has not done so. For example, some European countries, such like Lithuania, 立陶宛 Lithuania, Russia, Austria, Hungary, 匈牙利, and so on, are named after the most populous people living in their countries. But China don't do so. China's full name is People's Republic of China. People's Republic of China. That is to say, the 56 nationalities living in China belong to the Chinese people. All the Chinese people, all other Chinese people, enjoy the same rights in China. And even later, we will introduce that the ethnic minorities, thank you, in China will enjoy more preferential treatment, good treatment than high people. Such as, do you know the examination, 高考, the entrance to university or college for Chinese? If you are a minority, you can end 10 or 20 score than Han people. But I have no the right.
The government take care. The government care very much about education.
Okay. Not only education.
Beside the exam.
Yes. Minorities have more rights in China. Mostly people old hand can have one children, or one couple have one children. The minorities can have 2 or 3 children. And many choices they have. In China, almost every ethnic group has its own language, but some ethnic groups do not have their own written language. So in China, there are about 130 languages. And there are about 30 kinds of written languages. In China, the official language is Chinese, which can be divided into standard language. It is called, in English, is Mandarin, a standard language. I speak the Mandarin, but in some area, just like Xuzhou, there have their own dialect. But Xuzhou's dialect still relatively close to the Mandarin. So if you learn Chinese, you must be carefully. If your teacher is, if your teacher speak their dialect, you speak the Chinese is not standard. And in China, all teachers are required to speak Mandarin in class.
Was it speaking? That's a big difference between
Yes, I don't understand the speaking of sounds. And there is a city, it's called Wenzhou. Do you know Wenzhou? Yes. Some people deem Wenzhou's the speaking of the pronunciation of Wenzhou is similar to the Japan. So I can't understand the people. Something like many dialects in China. This is the characteristic of 普通话. If you want to be a teacher in China, you must to enter an exam for 普通话 for Mandarin.
We need to take foreign. We need to take this second. No. We foreigner should we take this second? 我们需要考吗
No.
No. This is scary.
The exam is difficult for some people. They speak dialect.
Yes.
So you need to. Okay. That's all for today's class. I'm so sorry. Maybe my pronunciation is not a standard in English. So thank you. You can taught me some English words if you know about to express my meaning. Okay. Class is over. See you next Monday. Bye bye.
Bye bye.